NAD supplements are everywhere. They're in your Instagram feed, your local IV drip spa, your favorite podcast host's bloodstream. They're supposed to boost energy, reverse aging, supercharge your mitochondria, and maybe give you a six-pack by Thursday. But here's the question, do they actually do anything? Or are we just peeing out very expensive hope? Today we're putting NAD under the microscope, and no, not with a wellness filter. In this episode of Wellness Mythbusters, we're digging into what NAD is and why every biohacker is obsessed with it, the real science behind NRNMN IVs and injections, whether you can have too much of this so-called longevity molecule, and whether boosting it will make you feel like you're 25 again or just lighter in the wallet. Get ready for sarcasm, science, and possibly a mild identity crisis. What is NAD? Why does it matter? Let's get nerdy. NAD nicotinamide, adenine dinucleotide, is a coenzyme found in every cell. It's crucial for energy production, DNA repair, and cellular metabolism. Think of it as the gas pedal for your mitochondria, those little power plants inside your cells. Without NAD, your body would be a slumped-over, energy-deprived blob. So far, so good. But here's where the plot thickens. The age decline narrative. The anti-aging industry loves this stat. NAD levels decline as you age. By age 50, your levels might be half of what they were in your 20s. Cue panic, cue supplements. But here's what most marketers don't mention. The decline varies dramatically based on health, lifestyle, and even tissue type. We're not 100% sure if low NAD causes aging or just shows up at the crime scene after correlation isn't causation, but it is great for selling pills. The supplement options. A crash course. If you want to boost NAD, your options include NR-nicotinamide riboside found in products like True Niagen, decent research, modest effects, NMN nicotinamide mononucleotide, beloved by David Sinclair fans, bioavailability still debated, 4 NAD, drip it straight into your veins for $200 a pop, cool but lacks solid human evidence. NAD injections. For people who like needles and have money to burn. Nicotinamide. Ironically cheaper and often more available, but won't impress your biohacker friends. They all aim to increase NAD levels, but whether that translates into better health, that's the catch. What the science actually says. Here's what research has shown so far. NR and NMN can raise NAD levels in the blood. Some small studies show improved endurance, inflammation markers, and metabolic health. A 2022 review found no major improvements in lifespan or physical performance in humans. In other words, some promise, but nowhere near the hype. It's more maybe helpful than molecular miracle. Also, most studies last 4 to 12 weeks and involve like 14 participants. That's barely enough to judge a new show on Netflix, let alone revolutionize aging. The limits, aka don't believe the hype. NAD supplements do not reverse aging overnight, guarantee better skin, libido, or brain power, replace sleep, exercise, or leafy greens, cancel out poor life choices. And no, taking 1,000 milligrams instead of 300 milligrams doesn't triple the benefits. It just triples the price and possibly the nausea. More is not always better. Sometimes it's just more urine. Toxicity? Too much of a good thing? Can you take too much Namibian dollars? Technically, yes. Some animal studies suggest that megadosing NAD precursors might increase cancer cell growth in certain scenarios. Do we know what too much means for humans? Not yet. But here's a rule of thumb. If your mitochondria start glowing, maybe dial it back. Until we have long-term human data, moderation is your friend, or at least your less expensive acquaintance. Celebrity. Hype versus reality. Celebs love their IV NAD drips because nothing says longevity like sitting in a white leather recliner with a saline bag and a selfie ring light. But most of the science-savvy experts are still waiting for actual clinical proof before recommending daily use. If Gwyneth Paltrow and Joe Rogan both love it, proceed with caution, possibly a helmet. Should you take NAD supplements? Here's the healthy skeptic answer. Maybe helpful if you're 40 and feeling sluggish, you're dealing with metabolic issues, you're a biohacker who tracks everything including your urine color. Probably not worth it if you're under 30, eating well, sleeping okay, and not riddled with oxidative stress. You expect miracles. You think this replaces diet, exercise, and social interaction. Better NAD levels are probably good, but they're not magic. They're mitochondria maintenance, not a cheat code. Better alternatives. Want to protect your NAD without spending $300 a month? Try exercise, especially HIIT and resistance training, intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating, saunas and cold plunges, prioritizing sleep, reducing alcohol and processed food. Maybe add foods with tryptophan, niacin, and vitamin B3. Your cells don't need hype. They need support. So is NAD the fountain of youth? Well, the jury is still out on this one, but it's also not a scam. It's a real molecule doing real work in your cells. But boosting it isn't guaranteed to make you live longer or even feel better. The research is promising but early. The hype is strong but also early. And the prices? Downright futuristic. Until we know more, consider NAD a nice bonus, not a baseline. Focus on the unsexy stuff, first sleep, sweat greens, and good genes. Then maybe stack your NAD dot. Found this helpful? Smash that like button like it owes you cellular energy. Subscribe for weekly myth-busting videos where we unpack the truth behind wellness trends with science sarcasm and zero detox teas. And don't forget to grab our free guide, Top 10 Wellness Scams and What Actually Works links below. See you in the next myth.